Good morning, everybody. I've just got off my group coaching call with a self-running agency group, and we have been doing our Q2 planning. So I just wanted to share a few thoughts with you, some of the key learnings that the group has. And actually, one of my Q2 plans, i.e. April to June plans, is to do more LinkedIn Live. So I thought I would do a quick broadcast to LinkedIn, to Facebook, and to YouTube, and share with you some of the key learnings that we had about working on our Q2 plans. Now, these are plans where you are working on the agency. So you're putting the pause button on the crazy kind of client service work that you're doing and running your agency, and just taking a bit of time to focus on driving your agency forward, the future of your agency, focusing on those tasks that are truly going to move the needle, so that you don't feel like you're just spinning plates or going around in circles, taking one step forward, one step back, but rather you are actually making some progress. And I think one of the first key learnings that the group had is that we need to really protect our boundaries and protect time in our diaries. And it's very easy to tell ourselves stories about why we can't possibly do that. So we might have protected an afternoon to work on some marketing for the agency, but meanwhile we can see emails pinging in from our clients and our team, and it's really easy just for that kind of marketing time to go out the window because we can see these pressing engagements. So you need to build really good boundaries, because those people don't always need attention right away, and they distract you from these core tasks, this strategy time, which is going to drive your agency forward. I think we also talked about how procrastination is a bit of a goal killer. So sometimes we just need to get on and do it, but we need to have a plan, which is what we were working on in the community. So my advice is to block time out in your diary and actually schedule what you're going to do specifically in that time. Because if you block time out in your diary to work on your goals, but you don't quite know what you're going to do, then you get to that time, meanwhile these emails are pinging in, you don't know what you're going to do, so it's easy just to get distracted and answer the emails instead. So schedule your time, like 9:30 to 10 I'm going to do this, 10 to 10:30 I'm going to do that. And I also want to say, stop letting the stories that you tell yourself stop you from doing that. Like, I can't possibly not be available for half a day, the world will fall apart. Well, actually, no, it won't. The other thing is, one thing we have in the group is we all match people up with accountability partners, because if you are one person agency, you need to be accountable to somebody, because we all need deadlines. So having an accountability partner, someone who you're going to speak to, and therefore you're accountable for getting tasks done, is super important. Otherwise, we are very good at procrastinating and just letting deadlines slip. Another thing is that if you've got a team, be more demanding of your team. And what I mean by that is coach them rather than tell them. So whereas team members might always defer to you to make all the decisions, and therefore you're constantly swamped by all of this stuff, if you just start pushing back and start saying, what do you think you should do, or what decision would you make if I wasn't here, then you're much more likely to get your team members to take more responsibility, to empower themselves and actually start making decisions for themselves. And then that frees you up to focus on the future of your agency. One thing, I think Bill Gates said this statement, that we overestimate what we can do in the short term and we underestimate what we can do in the long term. And one of the key learnings that some of the group had regarding reviewing Q1 plans was the fact that they overestimated what they could get done, and they didn't consider all of the kind of usual to-do list things that they have happen, and therefore they didn't get all their tasks done. So you have to be really mindful about not overestimating what you can do in the short term. And the last couple of learnings really is, make sure when you're setting goals that they're smart, because if you just say things like, I need to generate more leads, and that's your objective for the month or the quarter or the week, well, what does more mean? For one person, more means 5. For someone else, it means 50. Someone else, it means 500. And therefore, you're never going to be able to know whether you actually achieved that goal or not, because more isn't a good kind of smart objective. So make sure your objectives are smart. And finally, I just want to sort of say the power of community is so important. I love the fact that, in the group just now, we had about 20 people on the call. We broke into smaller breakout rooms, and it's just the learnings that each person has from listening to somebody else who says, yep, I've got the same problem as you and this is how I solved it, or that's really interesting, I hadn't thought of it that way. That power of community is so important, and we all know that it can be quite lonely running a business, and so finding your community is super important. Obviously, you know, being part of the self-running agency group is the way I build community with my agency audience, but you might have your own way of doing that. And of course, I'd love to see you inside the community. But anyway, I just wanted to do this quick 5-minute LinkedIn Live to say, you know, how important it is that you focus on the future and you actually build your plans for your agency. And I want to share with you some of the key learnings that my group just had from their session. And as I said, I'm going to be doing at least 1 or 2 LinkedIn Lives a week now. So please look out for them. And obviously do leave a comment. If you found what I've just said useful, please do leave a comment. Or if you've got a different take on it or something that I didn't share, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the power of planning and whether you've already worked on your Q2 plans or you're about to do that. What have you learned? And please do share. And otherwise, I'll see you on the next.